I'm assuming, Danny, you're going to know everybody who comes on the call.
We'll see.
Of course.
Who is that? Who is that stranger that's just logged on? I don't know.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. If you got
This
100
is
people,
a stranger
100
who sent me a bottle of whiskey yesterday.
Oh, that's a welcome stranger then.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Hello, Alexis.
Oh, hold on. I can fix
You're
it.
a pot of old.
I don't know.
Is that it?
No, you are.
Oh, it's a
pot of
pot of old. I like that.
Says Danny is. Says happy
Yeah.
birthday, Danny.
Yeah.
Oh, that does. Well
I didn't have
done.
my audio on. I all of a sudden heard that you were trying to talk.
I was talking about you and saying, I don't know who this is.
I
All
was
I know
trying to
is
get my-
somebody sent me a bottle of whiskey yesterday.
Your favorite. I know.
Yeah,
It is.
there you go. A stranger in the house. Hi, I'm Steve.
Hi, Steve. Nice to meet you.
Hi, and you
I
too.
see.
It's going to be really exciting.
It is.
Yeah, and now we've done it. There's 4 of us.
And Sarah's in a separate room logging on. She doesn't want to sit
Heidi.
next to me.
I
I
understand.
want to sit in my room.
That's right. Good, Sarah. And here's Heidi.
I see Simon is here.
Oh,
look at
Heidi, I
that.
love it.
Oh,
The birthday cake.
smart.
Happy
Fantastic.
birthday.
Thank you.
Oh,
Heidi,
nice
did you
one.
see that that shirt? I took a picture of somebody with a shirt for you. It said Antifa.
It's in Slack.
I put it in Slack.
Oh, I don't know if I'm in. I don't have.
Anyway,
Slack
I'll
anymore, but-
send it to your email address. Frankly, when I was sending it, I blanked out on your name, and I'm like, who am I sending this to? I can't remember. What's your name? A B C D. And then I went into Slack, and I thought, oh God, of course, Heidi.
Must be getting older. Is that what it is now?
Yeah, I
Case
think
proved,
it is.
absolutely.
I think it is. Yeah. Totally.
Hey, Matt.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. Can't see you. You're hiding.
I'm working on it.
Okay. You've got an automatic cover as well.
Yes, I don't know what's happening.
Oh, it's
Is there something over your camera?
That's always what you think it is, isn't it?
yeah.
It was that for Simon. There you go.
Hey,
There we go. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Great. Great to see you.
Great to see you too. Oh my gosh. I thought about a bow tie today.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I don't have one handy. I was like, should I get do the dress shirt and tie or a dress shirt and bow tie with shorts,
Yeah. No, I'm not standing up. I refuse to stand up. I'm wearing shorts, but
Right.
No-
and
no-
here's
no socks.
my birthday shirt. Hang on, if I can do my camera.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Did you figure out who sent it to you?
Yes, I did.
oh, they're all arriving now.
They are.
It's fashionably late, 1 minute after the hour. So that's very good.
Oh, hey, Deanna.
Hey, look at that.
Janice, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Danny?
Oh, good, good.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And there's
Oh,
Adriana.
look at that.
Hi.
Whoa.
How are you?
Hey, good.
What up
Oh,
with
and
that?
Karina and Sarah. Oh boy. Up and the dog. And there's my grandson.
Yay.
Hi. Oh, those are some nice togs, Steve Hetherington. Are you not sweltering out there?
I am not. Hey, it's suffering for your art.
I was going to say that's a
This is
proper
for-
MC outfit.
This is for Danny's benefit. So I thought I would suffer.
Happy birthday, Danny.
Thank you. Okay, now I'm trying. Oh, there's Leon. I was gonna make Leon
How are you doing, Karina? You all right?
Good in
Hi,
London.
Ruben.
Oh, you're in London, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Of all weekends, goodness me.
I've been here 2 months. I'm going back
No,
at the end of July.
Oh, really? You're so
Yeah.
close, relatively speaking.
I know. I actually debated. My nieces have loved llamas, and alpacas, and I've been telling my sister, I was like, if I planned it better, I'd have just gone over to Wales. You never know. I might still pop over. You never know.
Well, you never know. There you go. We're just down the M4.
There's Oscar and Ruben and Kate. Hello.
Oh, hey, hi
Can I
there.
see them? Can I see
And Mary Lawler, how are you? And Judy, my cousin. Hi.
Hey, Danny. Happy
Crew's all
birthday.
here.
Thank you. Oh, it's just like, a wedding where you know everybody.
Well, at least at a wedding you don't get to talk to anybody, do you? Because you,
No,
if it's your
the way
wedding,
it
I mean,
is.
you're at the front and everybody has a good time and you don't get to see anybody. Very
And there's
frustrating.
Leon saying hi.
Yeah.
I don't have a computer. I don't have a camera on my computer, so I can't turn my video on.
Okay.
There we go.
And who is that? Jason?
Yes.
Hi, Jason.
Happy
This is another
birthday.
cousin of mine, Jason.
What up? Here, I'll go over here so you can see me better. That's better.
There you go. That is better. Thank you.
So let's see who's
Excellent.
here.
And here's Jan Oldenburg. Oh my goodness. We're rich with Jans here, McCollum and Oldenburg. All right. And soon we'll have Janice Tufty and we'll really be rich.
We are the participatory health Jan triplets.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
We're all almost the same age and have the same first name because Jan's a
All
Janice.
officially Janices. Yeah. So there you go.
Is that Bill behind you, Judy? Say hi. All righty. All right, we're just right now we're just spending a few minutes welcoming. Up, and there's Sue Donnelly, my neighbor. And there's Sarah Lorraine in the flesh. Hi. So I'm just looking, I mean, so many people have been guests. It's great. Sarah, what are you doing this summer?
Hello, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I just finished a couple of weeks as a camp counselor, and now I'm mostly focusing on my volunteering. I volunteer in an assisted living facility. But other than that, I'm just taking it easy before I'm back to school.
Good. And I hear you're doing really good at school. Enjoying yourself. And there is Mighty Casey. Hi, Casey.
Hello, darlings. How are you?
Uh,
I'm a couple minutes late to the kickoff just because it was time to make lunch and I was like, oh crap, I got to eat something. So, hi.
well, good. That's right. Take care of yourself. That's the first thing.
Yes, with a lovely cream cheese and pickle sandwich on marble rye.
Oh, look
All
at
right.
that. Impressive.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so pardon me, I'm going to be like, munching on this. I'm going to.
It's a party, right, Danny? We're allowed to eat, right?
That's right. You're all allowed to
Fantastic.
eat. And
I will-
here's
I
my
will-
wife, Ann.
Casey, I'll join you. Hi, Ann.
Have my tea out of my hymns cup.
So you can sing, you can dance, you can do almost anything, but if it's going to be noisy, turn yourself, mute yourself. So unless you want everybody to hear you, but we do want to hear from everybody at some point. So,
Amy, how are you? Oh my goodness.
Happy birthday, good friend.
Thank you. Thank you. So many people here are in my podcasting groups. I'm already a little overwhelmed. Bill, how are you? Alicia. Hey there.
Hear you. Go ahead, say that.
These are my cousins from LA.
Hello.
Hi.
Lisa there.
And Josh from Ann Arbor. And Adriana, where are you living now? I forget.
I'm still in Boston.
You're still in Boston?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. We'll have
Adriana,
to get
Sarah's
together again soon.
one of these days. They can see each other virtually today, but we really have to get together and meet up.
Yeah, it's Sarah, right? Was it Sarah? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, should okay, let's see. Casey's in, where are you, Casey? In Richmond?
Yes, I am in Richmond, Virginia, formerly known as the capital of the Confederacy. No, I'm not from here. I moved here in 2000. It has changed only for the better since I've been here. No, I'm not taking any credit for that. But it has changed measurably and in good ways. And so here I am.
And Mary Lawler, you're in Buffalo. Is that your living room I see behind you?
This is my living room here in Buffalo. Yes, it is.
Mary and Ann and I went to our second Camino together. Yes.
We did. Spent 20 days in Portugal and Spain walking.
This is the one where you ended upside down.
I was going to say,
that's
the one
right.
you ended on your back. Has anybody not seen that video? It was a.
Oh, and
You
Danny
didn't see
fell
it,
over.
Oscar? Yes.
Plastic,
Yeah.
it just tipped back. Yeah.
Yeah. Believe it or not, that wasn't the highlight of the trip. That was
It was the low light.
that was just one of many amazing moments.
Stay here. You're going to stay in here.
Yeah, just incredible. Just an incredible time for all of us.
Yeah.
My feet will never be the same, but they survived.
Well done. So,
yeah,
we seem to have kind of slowed in terms of the new people coming in for now, which is great. So, welcome everybody. I'm Steve Hetherington, and I'm in Swansea, and I'm the one who talks funny because I'm not where most of you are from. But yeah, it's so good to be here. So I think we all know Danny in lots of different ways. Can we have a quick show of hands? Who is family on the call? Oh, there you go. Excellent. Welcome. So good to have you here. And there's another one in the corner. Excellent. Thank you. And look at those hands going up there. Perfect. So that's really good. What about friends who know him because they learned to podcast together? So that would be me. There's a show of hands there. So these are people who do the podcasting bit. And then we got a bunch of people, I think, who have you been guests on his podcast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Adriana and Sarah.
So we got a show of hands for
Alexis and
wow.
I don't even remember. Oh,
Mary
and Janice,
Lawler,
of
you
course.
have,
Thank
right?
you, Janice.
Me too.
What?
Yeah.
Weren't you on Danny's podcast?
Oh, I don't know. Was I, Danny? I know he interviewed.
Oh, of course you were.
Oh, okay. But that's not my primary way of knowing.
Never listened to him. Never listened to the podcast, but you were recorded. There we go. So I think
That's
we've
not my
got.
primary way of knowing him.
Okay, so I think we've all got stories which are things we want to appreciate.
I'm going to
about this-
butt in and say that I do my own podcast. I come out of the broadcasting zone. I worked in network television news as an engineer and producer for 20 plus years before I ran screaming from the room. But I do my own podcast. Danny is a backer, supporter, patron of my podcast. And so I've appeared on his. He was about as much as I could handle for the months that I was down for the count with what I'm calling hashtag Mets party last year. But yeah, so podcasting too, indeed.
Yeah, excellent. So
And I'll also note that although I think I have been a guest on the podcast, a number of us, I think, know him from our shared interest in the patient / healthcare space.
Absolutely. Hands up for that then. Who's, yeah. Oh, you can be in more than one group. That's not a problem. Don't worry. So that's really, so I think we've got some nice things to say about Danny, but I think we've also got some interesting, slightly embarrassing stories to tell as well. So that would be nice to hear, wouldn't it? Because we all know him in so many different ways. There'll be some new things that you've never heard before. So I think we're in for a bit of a treat. And if new people arrive now, we're pretty good at the moment because we're not too many on the screen. It gets too many, they'll disappear onto the next screen. It gets more difficult, doesn't it? So what we have done, just in case it gets overwhelming, there are some breakout rooms which you can choose to go into and then choose to come back from, and choose to go out again if you want. So we've got the porch. Everybody loves going on the porch, whether it's a nicotine break or whether it's just to be outside or just because you like the porch and want to get away from the noisy music, which there isn't any at the moment, but you know what I mean. And we've also got the kitchen because everybody loves going in the kitchen. So you can, there's the kitchen you can go into, and then there's the den. So you can disappear off into the den if you wanted to do that kind of thing. And the kids usually end up in the den, don't they? With an uncle. Oh, perhaps that was just my parties that I used to go to. There we are. So yeah, so we want to welcome everybody again, and we just got a new arrival, and also we wanted to hear from
Hi,
people.
Fatima.
So who would like to start with? Now, Danny, you had a list, didn't you? What were the things you wanted people to talk about?
I don't remember.
You can't remember? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I can say anything, can't I? So it was important things like your superpower, or a story to do with Danny, or something that would be nice to share with the crowd of us here.
Liliana, hello.
The way we want to do it is so we don't miss anybody. If you, down at the bottom, there's a thing which says reactions, and that allows you to do various things. So you can do things like clap your hands. That's me clapping my hands, or whatever. But if you use that and raise your hand, it does that. I don't know whether you noticed I moved then. So that puts me in the corner at the top, so I can see somebody is waiting to speak. So that would be really helpful, and you can just click lower hand and it goes away again. That's just a really easy way for me to be able to see who's, and I can make sure you get a chance to speak. We're small enough, we're going to be probably able to manage it anyway, but we'll try and do that. If you get stuck and you're not getting my attention or whatever's going on, then you can just come off mute and shout, and we'll make a way for you to get heard. So does that sound all right? So Danny, you are an amazing man with a whole range of amazing talents. And it's been a pleasure to get to know you over the last 3.5 years. And I can't believe it's 3.5 years. And we've also maintained that contact with our weekly calls. And it's just a real pleasure and a privilege to wish you a happy birthday. 70 is no mean feat. Well done. Absolutely amazing achievement. And there's a slight little thing. Can you see in the corner of Danny's picture? There is an instrument of torture. No, an instrument of playing music. But there's also a pile of hats in the corner, but you can't really see them. I'll have to pin you. So let me pin you just briefly.
There, can you see them?
Okay, so everybody
beautiful instrument.
Have I pinned it for everybody? I'm not quite sure. Can everybody see the hats?
No, we have not been pinned.
Okay, so how do I do that? Matt, can you
No, I think everybody just kind of needs to do it on their own.
Spotlight for everyone. Remove all pinned videos. Okay.
Spotlight
cool.
it.
How's that? Oh, I'm now spotlight. I'm that worked really well. So this is Danny and his hats. No, it's me.
Oh. Okay, add spotlight.
There we go. That was. Oh, we're both spotlighted now. Okay, that's semi-helpful. There we are. I'll spotlight myself in a second. See, in the corner here's a bunch of hats. So how many are there? You know Danny and his hats, but how many? These are his summer hats only. There's a bigger collection to come out in the winter. Summer hats, how many? Answers in the chat or on a postcard. And there we go. So who's got a hand up to, how do I unspotlight again? So remove spotlight, there we go. So Danny's now in the spotlight, and then we can remove his spotlight as well. So who'd like to start? Who's got something they'd like to share? There we go, Fatima. How about we start with you? Can you come off mute?
Okay. Hi. Hello, my name is Fatima Mohammed. I met Danny 2014. I can't remember the exact date, but I had just come out of university and came back to Boston from Pittsburgh, where I went to school. And I was just looking for a job to supplement my real estate gig. And I applied for administrative assistant with Advocate, and Danny interviewed me. And after being hired and working for him for that department, what became like a side hustle, a side gig, really helped shape my life in the future. And I know it sounds super dramatic, but hear me out. So Danny hired me, and I was like, oh, this guy's really like interesting, the bow tie and the hat and the cane, like, I don't know. But I really like fashion, so I really appreciated it. And after years of working there, and I finally had to leave, one day I asked Danny during our weekly meetings, because he was the executive, the head of the department at the time, and I was his assistant for the department. And I just asked him, like, what made you hire such a diverse group of people? Because our department was basically the only department that wasn't all white. It was super diverse. And he's like, oh, I think diversity is important, and I hired for diversity of thought, diversity of experience, and it just happened to be diversity of ethnicities and people from all around the world. And that always stood with me, and I was always amazed, because it was beyond colorblind, but it was somebody who appreciated your culture, was curious, wanted to know where you came from, but it didn't mean more than what it meant. It just was a part of you. And I always appreciate you, Danny, for just trying to see the person in somebody beyond what they represent in the world. So for that lesson always stuck with me, and it still stays with me. And as someone who also suffers from chronic pain, he also taught me it's okay to whine and bitch and moan for about 3.5 seconds, then you have to get it together. And I really appreciated that. So I'm really excited for your 70th birthday, and I'm more grateful that after just 2 years of working under you as an admin and working with you, that I still call you a friend and a mentor, and I'm able to pick up the phone and just blab on and on and on. And I really just, I cherish your friendship, and I'm thankful to have you in my life. So happy birthday. Have a blessed 70th, and you deserve all the blessings and all the beauty in the world.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too, Danny.
Wonderful, Fatima. Thank you so much for that.
And I see my Uncle Danny, and I see James Harrison.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
New arrivals.
And Ileana, hi.
Excellent. So, Alexis, you've got a hand up as well, I think.
I do. Happy birthday. I was putting in the chat earlier when you said, raise your hand if you're family. I said, I kind of want to be in all the categories, right? 'Cause the definition of family, kind of depends on who your cherished friends are, and they really feel like family. So that would put me in the family category, Danny. I have been a guest on his podcast. My daughter, Sarah, has as well, but that is not how we met. So we met 5 or 6 years ago, I think, when we both do some mutual work for PCORI, the Patient-Centered Outcomes Research Institute, for the few people on here who may not know. I think most of us are camaraderies in that area. So we really met through our passion for patient and health advocacy, etc. And who couldn't not be attracted to this dynamic man and all of his hats, literally the hats that he wears and the hats that he wears in his roles in life. And my dad was a hat man himself my entire life. I cannot picture him without a hat on his head. And how can you not be attracted to another wonderful man who is always wearing these distinguished hats? So Danny and I have become fast friends over the years. And I would say that I am so blessed not only for our friendship in general, but the fact that during COVID, You know, we both have friends plastered all over the country, and our camaraderie of folks from Pecori that I haven't seen in numerous years because of COVID now, except for virtually during meetings and on screen and maybe occasional Zoom chat. I am blessed and fortunate to live about 20 minutes or less from Danny. And so we have been able to get together for walks, and I met his dog. And he's come to my house, and he and Sarah and I have gone for walks, and we've gotten together for lunch, and et cetera, et cetera.
And
So
you
that
met Oscar.
has been, yeah, that was before COVID. I'm so
Right.
fortunate that Sarah
I
and I
bet.
got to go to the MFA with you and Oscar, and I haven't seen Oscar in so long, and he's so grown up now. So hello, Oscar. But yeah, I was very fortunate that out of all the people that I dearly miss, Danny and I got to actually see each other and maintain our in-person friendship. So I will just quickly read something that came across me that I thought was just kind of perfect for how I feel about our friendship. Small little quote that says, "My special friend, it's often said that special friends are worth their weight in gold. They bring you joy and comfort as the passing years unfold. They know just how to make you smile and lift our spirits too. That's why I feel so fortunate to have a friend like you." Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. And they're my cousins, Karen and Lisa. Hi. Thanks for joining us from California.
Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. So we're just sharing some things, saying nice things about Danny because it's his birthday, but also sharing some embarrassing stories. There must be some around, I'm sure. And I'm not sure about you. I'm not sure you can actually put anything down about the number of hats. You've probably got inside information. So, but 200,000 sounds a little bit on the high side. But I'm not sure. You could be right there. So there we go. Someone with a hand up. Wonderful. Go on, Ileana.
Yes,
Hope I got
hi,
your name right there.
Annie, and nice to see everyone. So I think where did I meet Danny? At somewhere in Society for Participatory Medicine, something online mailing list, I guess. So I think the homework was to share something that's an advice or something, and my advice to you all is to meditate. And I'm saying this because Danny, since I met him, he's been a very good friend, but also teaching me to be compassionate towards myself. I mean, he was saying nicer things about me than I ever told myself. So about a week or two ago, when I heard about this, I was doing a meditation instruction training. And the most important thing that I came out of that is to be compassionate to myself. So if you don't have someone like Danny to take care of you, you can do meditation and it will help you. So happy birthday. Thanks for inviting us. It's nice
Thanks,
to see
Ileana. It's lovely to see you. How's your son?
He's doing great. He's really doing great. I'm grateful.
Good.
He's 16 years old. And I know people say that kids this age are difficult, and he's not.
Good.
Thank you for asking.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Ileana. Jan. Well, okay, you have to specify which one, don't we? Because there's so many of you. So Jan Oldenburg.
Thank you. So yes, hi everybody. Such a pleasure to be here. I'm not entirely sure when Danny and I met. It was, I think, on a hymns committee.
I think so.
2008, 2010.
Yeah. It's been a while. Yeah.
It's been a while. And we have had since then the pleasure of just collaborating on a bunch of things, large and small, sitting on a board together, sitting on its various committees and commiserating. And I've had for the last almost 2 years the honor of being Danny's advisor in his Pecori work. And there are a couple of things I want to say about Danny. One of them is that he is one of the most fearless people I know. in terms of especially being willing to speak truth to power. But unlike some of us, Danny doesn't need to do it out of anger. He does it out of a place of clarity and thoughtfulness and peace, and it makes what he says really impactful because it's clear that he's saying it out of love. And he's also, he's well aware of the value he brings in various situations, but manages to combine that with being really deeply humble. And I particularly admire that ability to be clear about bringing value, but also not too full of himself. I find him invariably open and thoughtful. And one of the things that I admire deeply about Danny is the way that he is able to manage not only all of those roles and all of those hats, but the occasional or maybe much more frequent than any of us know, the need to do accommodations for his illness and keep on trucking. And I think in part, that's one of the things that it's a lesson I learn every day from Danny. And I suspect that many of us do. And that's something I hope when I reach Danny's age in about 3 years, that I'll be more practiced at than I am now. So happy birthday, Danny.
Thanks, Jan. Thank you so much. And Janice Tufty and Sarah Glover, hello, hello, hello.
Welcome, welcome. Hey, we've got a special guest who's just about to share something interesting. And over to you.
Okay. When I first met Danny, we were very young. We were in our early 20s. As a matter of fact, I don't even think Danny was 21 because if we went out to eat or something, he could not order liquor or alcohol. It was about 3 or 4 months. We met 3 or 4 months after his father passed away, and his father passed away at the age of 45. And as we, were getting closer and we were talking about things, Danny would just always say to me, he didn't think that he would live very long. He thought that he would die young. And so, being young, thinking about, okay, do I really want to develop a closer relationship? What's going on with this? But we did. And very fortunately, we got married. We have 2 wonderful sons. We've created a wonderful life together. And I'm especially just thankful and grateful that here Danny is at 70. When he kind of let me know that he thought it would be a lot shorter of a life together than that. So he's 70 years old. That's great. It's been a great life together.
Well, I'm really good at predicting the future. I love you, honey.
Wonderful. And Tanya, hi. So, Heidi, what you got
All
for
right.
us?
Yeah. So
Hi, Tanya.
So I met Danny in our podcast fellowship and get to see him most Sundays when we usually check in about half an hour from now on what we're up to. So I picked out a quote to share that made me think of Danny. So it's about curiosity. So curiosity only does one thing, and that is to give. And what it gives you are clues on the incredible scavenger hunt of your life. That's by Elizabeth Gilbert. So I think that Danny approaches everything with such a curiosity, whether he's interviewing guests, asking us a lot of questions when we're talking about our podcasts or approaches, and just really everything in life. And I think you just live such, you have your music, you did the Camino. It's just so fun to follow the adventures of your life. And I thank you so much for your support because I go through times where I'm not sure about this whole podcasting thing. And my original podcast was on the single life, which has nothing to do with Danny's life, but being there as a support, no matter if mine has nothing to do with his life, I just think has been really awesome. Your support over the years of me and my podcast. And then, okay, we've been doing the Zoom thing for years and years. So then I actually got to meet Danny. He was in Arizona for a wedding. So we got to walk through the botanical gardens. So that was super fun. And I always enjoy sharing my favorite place with people. And it was funny because on Zoom, you know, we just see our faces and he's like, wow, you're a lot taller than I thought, because we're all the same height on Zoom, right? So that was super fun to get to have that experience. So happy birthday, Danny.
Thanks, Heidi.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And Matt is also one of the crowd that meets regularly. Over to you.
Thanks, Steve. Hey, happy birthday, Danny.
Thank you.
This is exciting. When I heard about this idea, I thought, what a great idea and what a Danny idea. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think most of you will understand this, but I think one of the coolest things about Danny is his, let's give this a try. It's how many times have we, well, why don't we try this? Or what if we did this? And I just think that is the best way to be. And I want to be more like that. And I wanted to share a story with you all from about a year and a half ago. I was in our regular call and I remarked this wonderful thing happened, which I had some former students who met in my classroom as 14-year-olds who are now 29-year-olds who were getting married. And they called me and asked me to marry them. And I was remarking on this, kind of saying, oh, what am I going to do? And he said, oh, you should definitely do it. It'll be a hoot. I've done tons of them. I'll help you. And I said, what do you mean you've done tons of them? And he said, oh, yeah, I'm a minister. I marry people too. That's something else I do. And I said, how is that possible? Are you the most interesting man in the world? Is that what this is? So the man tells me to go for it. And I was nervous to say yes, but told me to go for it. Said, oh, and I'll talk to you and I'll give you some tips. I've done quite a few of them. So he does a Zoom call with me and walks me through. I have like 4 pages of notes from the call. And he, sure enough, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things he said happened exactly how he said they would happen. Make sure you're ready for this to happen. Ask them this question, do this. And because I was able to learn from Danny's experience, it was a life-changing and incredible moment that I was able to have. And that was because of the generosity and the, oh yeah, go for it spirit of Danny. So Danny, thank you for that. And we appreciate and just want to tell you how much you mean to me and I'm sure mean to all of us. And happy birthday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Matt. And Mary.
Okay, so I know Danny mostly because he married one of my best friends, Anne, and yeah, so I automatically gained him as a friend. And but I want to share with you something that happened on our first Camino, because to me, it is such an indication of how God views Danny. And it was really quite an amazing experience for me. And now listening to everyone talking here today, I understand even better why God went out of his way to bless Danny the last day of our first Camino. And what happened was, it was actually the day before. Now, of everyone doing the Camino, including Danny, I'm in the worst shape, right? I'm like struggling to keep up with these people. And so the night before, we were to walk into Santiago, which is where the Camino ends, in front of the great Cathedral de Santiago. I was up all night long with throbbing pain in my feet. Now, this is the only time on the Camino this has happened. And yeah, my feet hurt all day walking, but I put them up at night, and by the next morning they were fine and I was ready to walk again. But this night, the night before, we were to walk into Santiago, which is the highlight, right? What I'd been looking forward to. My feet throbbed in pain all night long. I did everything, you know, Motrin, Tylenol, salve, you know, whatever I had brought, I put on my feet, and nothing touched it. So the next morning we all get up and I say, I can't start out walking right away. I'm going to have to do something about my feet. So Danny was there with me and the other people went ahead. And I couldn't get rid of this pain in my feet. So finally I said, Danny, I'm just going to go drive to Santiago in the transport with you and forego walking into Santiago with everyone else. And I was really upset about it because I really wanted to walk in. And so he said, okay, so we drove to Santiago, and I get to Santiago and we get to our hotel, and I say to Danny, I'm going to walk back out. I'm going to try to walk back out of Santiago and meet them and then walk back in with them. And he says, okay, I'll go with you. Well, then trying to find our way out of Santiago was like ridiculous. And we ended up, you know, having to ask this person for help and getting a taxi that took us to the next town outside of Santiago. And we get in this taxi and I'm in the back seat and I say, you know, God, I really don't get this. I have done my best. I don't understand why I'm not walking into Santiago the way everyone else is. And he says to me, well, Mary, I really wanted Danny to be a part of this. And so you were the one person I could work in to make that happen. And I said, my feet hurt because of Danny? But then I settled down and I thought, wow, God loves Danny so much that he would do that to allow Danny to walk into Santiago with us. And I just, my perceptions of Danny just blossomed. And now listening to everyone speak about him, I realize God loves Danny that much because Danny loves people. And that's the standard that Jesus uses. So that's my story of Danny.
Thank you. Hi, Sherry. Are you in Jerusalem?
Outside of Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv, that's right. Welcome.
Well, thank you. I couldn't resist. There's a party, so I'm here.
Yes.
Excellent. Wonderful to see you. We're just going and sharing things. If you want to share anything, just use the reactions thing, just to pop your hand up, and then you'll move up into the corner and I can see, make sure you get a chance to share. So Janice, I think you've got something.
I think James is before me.
Oh,
James?
You're in my top corner. So
James
is next.
Yeah, then I. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Janice. Happy birthday, Danny. So
thank you, James.
I met you. I think it was 2014, maybe, at PCORI, the Patient-Centered Outcomes Research annual meeting. And as a researcher, I was new to this idea of, partnering with patients, community members, and advocates in research, and doing things together. So who better to be sat next to, really, to be sat next to at this conference, to meet and to learn from. And, you know, since then, we've worked together on a number of different projects, different forums, in person, virtually. And, you know, apart from all the work, which is always good, I just love when we get to spend time together, chat, we put the world to rights. You always keep it real, which I really appreciate. And also we always manage to have a laugh. There's always a lot of laughter in everything we do. And I just wanted to, be here and wish you happy birthday and look forward to many more birthdays and lots more kind of discussions, work together and seeing each other virtually and in person.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks. Janice, definitely your turn this time.
Thank you. I just know that he was there before me.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, okay.
So that's okay. I met Danny, I think I think it was 2015, James, our first year we were all there. But anyway, I know I met you too. We worked together around that time. Anyway, the first time I really got to know Danny, I knew who he was, right? But it was the year Danny spoke on the big stage, I believe. Anyway, I was having a bad day. I'd been kind of mistreated that morning, had a similar situation yesterday. I wasn't a happy camper. Basically, I was sitting in the back by myself and feeling isolated or whatever. So Danny obviously knew how I was feeling. He could tell like a good, kind pet might do, but not associating with a pet, but you know how some people have more intuitiveness than others. So he comes and sits next to me and there's this person talking at this meeting. And Danny says to me, he's kind of pontificating, isn't he? I'm trying not to laugh. And he said other remarks, like he goes, just when you get to know me, you'll know I'm a little bit cynical at times, right? I can pontificate too. So anyway, it just totally changed my mood because I just never expected that out of Danny. I didn't know him, but anyway, it started off our relationship. And I don't know, we just started getting to know each other and same thing, we've connected and I think helped each other kind of in our advance what we are currently our own projects that we've been in. And then a few years ago, I picked up a habit of sending some of the people I really appreciate what they've done for me, some kind of odd gifts. And a couple of you in here have received them. Danny, you want to stand up? I can tell you're wearing it. It says, what does it say? 70 years of awesomeness. And so I saw that and I mailed it to him. And I sent it to him without who sent it to him because I was in the hospital recently and I received these beautiful bouquet of flowers. And I didn't even tell people what hospital I was in. So I don't know how he figured it out, but he did anyway. But there was no name. And they carried it down the hall. And it was the first day I was taking some steps after a hip surgery, after that hospitalization. And the governor goes, look at the flowers, look at the flowers. They go, who is it from? And they go, oh, your boyfriend. I'm saying, no, I don't have one. And they open the card, but it doesn't say who it's from. So I didn't know. And so I put it on Twitter. Hello, thank you for the beautiful flowers, whoever they're from. He did the same with the shirt. But I just want to say that I really appreciate how he has helped. And as others have mentioned, he's been there to help us advance and connect us or offer opportunities for myself to hold some Zoom meetings. And he's also, very respectful of his time and our time. So when perhaps something's gone on too long, he's a master at saying, well, I got to go now. And I think it's something we can all learn from. So thank you. I appreciate it. I love you, Danny, and Ann too.
Thanks, Janice.
Wonderful. So that's where the t-shirt came from.
That's right.
Well, actually, Amazon.
Oh, well, yeah. Hey, Ruben.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Danny's youngest son, and as you can imagine, he's always worn a lot of hats. And so I have a story about a time when he was wearing the hat of a father. He came in to volunteer in my classroom. As a healthcare worker, he was going to talk about safety. As an educator, again, talking about safety and teaching about safety. He was a community member. I was born on an intentional community that my mom and my dad joined and then built their own house. And so he had to cut his own wood for heat in our house. So he was doing that before he came in to talk to my class about safety. And he's also a human who sometimes, does some stupid things like chopping wood on his own in a forest. Luckily, he was wearing steel-toed shoes though, because he dropped the chainsaw on his foot and it has the scar still. And so he came into my 6th grade health class. Actually, I'm realizing he's about the age of my son. I was about the age of my son now, and I think he must have been 40 because about 30 years ago, he comes into my class on crutches, bandaged up, and then proceeds to tell about safety. I can't remember what the actual lesson was, but it was a real life lesson. And I'm so glad you have all your toes, Dad.
Me too.
And
Me
I
too.
love you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Nothing like using your life as a lesson.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Why not go in and, on my way to the emergency department and, talk about the idiocy of lacking in safety. So I was a real life example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think Oscar would have tell a story also.
Okay.
I don't really have a story much. I say it's probably more of an experience, I would say. But I meet with Opa, Danny Opa, basically every Sunday. Not this Sunday because it's his birthday and he has this party going on. But I do meet with him usually every single Sunday, and we share our problems in technology together, and we read stories together, and we show what we've done in the past week. And I always appreciate that because it helps me, and it's just spending time together as a family is very important.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Totally wonderful. I learn a lot from our gatherings. Oscar's a podcaster, and so we talk about podcasting, and he's a programmer, and so we talk about audio, visual, and storytelling and life. So it's a mutual learning experience. Besides just a lot of fun.
Really special. Excellent. Janice, one of the triplets. Where's
I am here.
Yeah.
And as the third Janice, I'll try to keep this short. But I read Danny's instructions and took it somewhat literally. So I wanted to share with many people through the health IT and patient advocacy community here know me and know something about my walking gallery jacket, which has me as a small child wearing Wonder Woman underalls. Is that what they were called? And the genesis of that story, I just want to show, this is a picture of me dressed as Wonder Woman on the MIT campus. Underoos. Okay, somebody, I was a little too old for underoos, so thank you for getting that right there. Yeah, underalls, something else. But this was a favor to a friend who was writing this book. It was called A Creative Guide to Exploring Your Life. But it was kind of fun dressing up over there. And I remember going down in an elevator with the photographer, and everybody at MIT just sort of like, "Hi, Wonder Woman." But and I had to write a little piece about, basically a diary entry as your alter ego, and that the central core of that was about, being caring about justice, caring about advocating for, the more vulnerable, and also part of it was, okay, I'm getting old now as Wonder Woman. I'm losing my physical strength, so I want to care more about advocating for change in politics and all of that. And I think that explains somewhat why Danny and I connected. And I still think of almost all the events that I would go to in Boston, it seems, the in-person events, Danny would be one of the first people I would see and would always be very, very happy to see him. The curiosity, the not making quick assumptions about people, staying away from the negativity. I really admire that in him, and I think he's helped me in some respect, because it's easy to start, bitching and moaning or what have you when something's not going well. But also, I'll reiterate what some other people have said about, getting so much done, fitting in so much. Days when I'm tired, I think, well, how the heck does Danny get everything done? Maybe I need to get more hats. but also, just carrying on, well, really getting things done. I think of our work together at the Society for Participatory Medicine, which people have mentioned. Danny did this fabulous newsletter. He just did it and got it done. And he had so many other things going on. So I miss seeing you.
I didn't do it alone.
Well, that's part of it is, being able to bring in the right kind of group too. Now that's a special skill. And I admire you for that. I miss seeing you in person. Love you, Danny. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Janice.
Wonderful. Thank you. So thinking about hats, did we get any more takers for how many hats are in the corner? These are the summer hats, not the whole collection. We got a number that you want to put in there, and when we'll reveal the answer in just a little while. So Tanya.
Hi, Danny. Happy birthday. Why do I love Danny? I love Danny because he's loving and he tells the truth as he sees it, and he has always provided some nudges of encouragement, but at the same time, he is very outspoken and speaks it as it is, as he sees it. And so I am part of one of Danny's one of his podcasting groups, and one of the little side groups he has is called Reckoning, and Reckoning sounds as ominous as as it might sound. And sometimes he'll listen and he'll say, I don't care about independent environmental educators, but because you do. And then he goes on to say something brilliant and constructive and just wonderfully helpful. And so I just love Danny for all sorts of reasons. And another reason is because he's introduced us to Oscar. Now, Oscar, you are here. And because of Oscar, I have all sorts of wonderful magnets that I have on my lamp next to my desk over there. And so, Oscar, sir, I saw you earlier. Thank you so much. And you keep...
Oh, he's coming back now, Tanya.
Okay. And so I think of, you and Opa are never too far away. You are literally right next to me. Thank you, sir. I have all of them and I see them every day. They're still on my lamp next to my desk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, Tanya. Well done, Oscar, as well. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. So, Sarah.
Hi all. Hi Danny. Happy birthday.
Hi, honey.
I'm calling in from Montana. I don't know. Can you see that? Yeah.
Wow.
Those are the Bridger Mountains back there. I'll be back in Boston next weekend, so I'll get to see you. Well, I'm in a book club with Danny and Anne, which is just marvelous. It's just one of my favorite gatherings. I literally am almost commuting to Boston from where I live in Chattanooga to be able to be in person for these book clubs. That's how much I love it. But I have two super gigantic heart memories with Danny. One is right after Donald Trump got elected, not to invoke the bad side, but I was freaking out. And Danny said, well, we should be together. And I was like, that would be really great. we convened, just a few of us, 2 other people in our book club, Mark and Lefebvre and Bonnie Engelbart, and me and my daughter, Sophie, came to Danny and Anne's house, and we just sat around the kitchen table and talked. And I think we played a little music, and it just was like salve. Is that the word? I mean, I was like, and it just, I think, was very emblematic of many of the words people are saying: open, heart-centered, you know, bringing people together. And I think about that time, and I love you for it. I love making stuff like that happen. Another kind of fun and funny memory, because one of the things I admire so much about you, Danny, is you just like, there's no age divide, right? It's sort of like, you know, all people, and it's not like some people are older, some people are important, or some people are young, or some people, it's just, it's very open. You teach us that, you teach me that. And I broke my pelvis in a skiing accident, and I was like getting back walking again. And Danny lent me 2 of his canes so that I could like graduate from a walker to canes, and kind of gave me, you know, good luck canes and favorite canes. And we're doing all this, like, how many hats does he have? But I'm here to tell you he has quite a few canes as well, and they're quite nice. And he was a good trainer, you know, he got me back going. It was just kind of a fun thing to share too. I don't know. Anyway, happy birthday. Thank you for making this gathering happen. And it's lovely to see you and everybody.
Thanks, Sarah.
Really lovely. Thank you. Okay, do we need an answer before we have Amy? Do we need an answer for the number of hats? Okay. Have I seen them all? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Some are high, some are a bit low. Okay, so the answer is where do you think? 10? More than 10? More than 10? Yeah. 10, 15. A little bit more than 15. 18 is the answer. I can't believe that. I think it ought to be more than that. It looks like more.
Those are the summer hats.
These are just the summer hats. Yeah. I'm going to say, I'm sure I've seen more than 18 hats over the 3.5 years.
You have.
At various times, but always appreciated. So 18 is the answer. You can give yourself a pat on the back if you were close. There are no prizes to be delivered, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. But Amy, let's come to you.
Well, so happy birthday, Danny. I'm really happy to be here to celebrate with you. And you said something a minute ago, which reminded me and touched my heart of some of the things I wanted to say about you. You said there is nothing like using your life as a lesson. And that is what you do every day for all of us. And one of the things I want to just say, especially, that you remind me and encourage me to work towards a lifetime of continued growth and learning, and doing it in service of a positive change in the world, because you still do that every day. I'm part of your podcast group, so I've had the pleasure of being part of that journey with you, but you do it in so many different ways, you know, getting yourself a coach to help you with new roles that you have, all of the things that you do. You don't let, as you know, I think it was Sarah was saying a minute ago, you don't let age affect that. And I think that's really beautiful. And I personally feel touched and encouraged by that. And I want to thank you for that. And thank you for using your life as a lesson. And it sounds like you've been doing it forever. So thank you and happy birthday.
Thanks, Amy.
Lovely. Thank you.
And my cousin, Jason.
Hey, family.
Hi, everybody.
Happy
Birthday. So glad to be here. I'm glad Jackie's here because, and I'm glad that Judy is speaking after I am because, what's it like to have Danny as a cousin? The dictionary of my mind as a 6-year, I would look up in the dictionary of my mind for the definition of hippie, and there would be Jackie and Danny's picture. Now, Jackie and Danny would come in visit us from time to time. I assume by hitchhiking. They were loud, they were boisterous, they were fun, and I assume very high. And I have this one indelible memory where I don't know if Jackie was with you at the time, Danny, but I remember you had convinced us all to cross the street and go tobogganing because we had this huge park across the street. We had a ski hill across the street, a little toboggan hill. And you also convinced us to all, I think there were 7 of us, my older brother, younger brother, dad, mom, you, Danny, and maybe just you, Danny. I remember walking over there and you were just yelling, having fun with the echoes. And you convinced us all to get on a toboggan, and we hit a mogul. We all went flying, and I hit some snowdrift. And the 2 voices I heard were my younger brother Ben crying, and my dad saying, "Oh, my back." So I don't really know what that means. I don't think it has any profound messages, but I guess Danny just had a lot of fun. But you did ultimately, shatter some of my myths when I first saw you with short hair. And then at my brother's bar mitzvah, I saw you in a suit and tie. That was very traumatic. And then 10 years later, you shaved your beard, which was really traumatic. And I didn't like, who is that guy? I saw a picture of you and I did not know who you were. Is that Amiel? And it turned out to be you. And you're also, one of the things I also learned from you is when I was like 10 or 11 years old, I learned that a nurse could be a man. I did not know this. This was new to me. My stepmother of blessed memory was a nurse. And everybody I knew, yes, Danny had a beard. Yes, Danny had a beard. He had, you want to look at him on this wedding day. I love this picture of this wedding day. I don't know if somebody could put it up. This great picture of him and Anne. He's got this long, flowing, curly hair and a big, long beard, okay, and round John Lennon glasses. That's how I remember Danny. And it's just really hard to look at you right now. I just want to say, I just like, grow the hair, man, grow the beard, But the thing is, even though the trappings have changed, obviously Danny gives us an excellent example of how to grow without changing. We talk about change as somehow getting rid of a part of yourself or adding something that he shaved at one Halloween. Thank you, Simon. Taking a part of yourself, getting rid of it, or bringing in a part of yourself that wasn't there before. Everything that's in us is always in us forever. And what Danny shows is that he just grows. I think he always was. A little bit calmer than he was when I was like 6, but no less boisterous. And also, an incredibly positive attitude considering, what you're going through right now. I'm a bitcher. I like to bitch. I like to complain. And I'm seeing some of these testimonials to you on chat, and it's really resonant to me. I also really appreciate your podcasts. As someone who works in hospice myself from time to time, I sometimes struggle with these quality control and coordination of care issues. And oh, there it is. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so it's really, they're not John Lennon glasses. I guess I misremembered. It's really cool to see Ruth and Bill in the back in their little dashikis. That was kind of cool in the background. Okay, so I'm digressing here. I'm getting distracted. The podcasts are really helpful. I really like the way you integrate some really sophisticated, healthcare quality issues with your personal experience. It's really something that's very difficult to integrate seamlessly, and you do a fantastic job of it. I'm a proud supporter of Health Hats, and I hope you all are as well. I think I don't know if I have anything else to say, but you can grow the beard if you want. I'm just saying, you can grow the beard. That's all. I love you, Danny.
Jason.
You're a great role model. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Jason was my first sponsor. Yes.
Well done.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent. Love the stories. Thank you. Judy, more family. Excellent.
Yes, my cousin. Hey, Judy.
Okay, there we go. Well, I guess I've known him just about since he was born, since I'm like a year older. So, but and I've been desperately trying to think of some dirt on him, but nothing really has come to mind. Sorry. Sorry. And I don't really I don't want to tell an anecdote per se, but just like why I've been thinking about why he's such a good person to talk to about stuff. And I think, you know, of course he's thoughtful and honest, but I think he's fairly non-judgmental. I mean, like when he gives a suggestion, if you don't follow it, you know, maybe you don't feel like a complete idiot or something, but you know, you feel like it's you know, it's something to chew on and figure it out. You have to figure it out for yourself, really. So I really appreciate that about you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you. Yeah. Who else we got? We got Leon. Yeah.
Well, you know, I've known Opa, or Danny, I guess, my whole life. And I knew that he was like, you know, a great man that a lot of people knew and respected. But I've been kind of surprised going in here about how many people have gone through the Zoom meeting. Like right now, there's 27. And I was just thinking that, I mean, that's kind of crazy that there's this, like hearing the stories of people. It's kind of amazing to think of my grandfather as someone who's done so much for so many people. It's kind of cool to think about it.
Thanks, honey. Love you.
Yeah, that is really, really lovely. Thank you.
Shiri.
Yay.
How the heck are you? It's
I
lovely to
am
see
doing
you.
well. So I'm sitting here and I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous because I haven't known you that long, and we met in this webinar, and then you made a comment, and I was like, okay, I want to be this guy's friend. So you know, and then we had this amazing conversation, and you hosted me on the podcast, which was such a lovely experience. And then I got this letter in the mail from you, a thank you letter, okay? Not email, mail. And I'm like, okay, I really want to be this guy's friend. So I just want to tell you that, you know, I believe that, you know, throughout our lifetime, we come across people that are like gems. And we just become better because they are in our space. And you are one of those people for me. So I've been following you and I've been learning a lot from you. And my mind has been working overtime, just so you know, because I haven't disclosed this yet, but I'm really, really busy with two questions. One is, what can we do together? Still haven't figured that one out. Okay. And so I'm planning. So, you know, maybe we should talk about that. And the other is, how do I get more people in Europe and Israel to know you? Okay, because you have so much to teach. So maybe the two are a combination. And I have this this dream list. When I eventually get to the US, because it keeps getting postponed, these are the people and the places. These are the people I'm going to meet, and these are the places I'm going to see. So you're on the list. So prepare yourself. I have no idea when that's going to happen. But
Thank you so much. And one of these days, Israel's on our list.
Oh, good.
And yeah, we planned to go, and then COVID hit, and now, you know, who knows? So we'll see.
I'm going to take you to all the really nice places, the one that
There you
tourists don't.
go. Cool.
Excellent.
Well, guys, this is amazing. Well, I
Danny,
really
have you got anything
like,
to say?
What's that?
Have you got anything to say?
I do. Yeah, of course I do.
Good.
Do you ever know me not to have something to say?
Absolutely.
And
The floor is yours.
thank you. I what I just that we're having this is so interesting to me. That I was thinking, I was thinking, I'm a party guy, and I was like thinking, okay, I'm 70, this is really a big deal, and I should have a big party. And then I think, oh well, then me or somebody else has to organize it, and I just didn't feel like it. And then so then then I was talking to Steve and talking to my son Simon, and we came up with this. And it's just so interesting to me that you think about some of the people who I've known a long time because they're family, and then there's people I've known a long time like Mary, because I she's my wife's dear friend, and known for a long time. And then there's all these people who I've known for 3, 4, 5 years, and actually I remember having a conversation with Anne about this friend of mine, Steve, in Wales, and she was saying, well, how can this guy be your dear friend? He lives in Wales and you've never met him. And it's and so but there's something about commonality of purpose and persistence and mutual growth, and where we started with the technical and the telling a story, and then it grows into the business, and then the family, and then we've all had our ups and downs, and so, well, that's what makes for friends. And so it's just a very different this, it's just, okay, I'm 70, and so it's like in the last 10 years of life, this kind of relationships, these kinds of relationships are possible, which is pretty mind-blowing. The other thing I wanted to say is that the best birthday party I ever had was my halfway to 70 party. So when I turned 35, I had a halfway to 70 party. And at that time, that's when, Anne was talking about that I didn't think I'd live that long. And I was sort of feeling aspirational. Just, maybe I would, so let's celebrate that I'm halfway there. And it was a great party because we were living on a farm in West Virginia, and there were a lot of people there, like, 50, 60 people, and they everybody's playing volleyball, and I was in the house, and people just kept coming in, and they were singing happy birthday for like 2 hours because new people would come in, and and then somebody would start over, and that was just so much fun. And so here I made it, and it's just it's great. I don't know what to say. It's great, and I appreciate the the stories of how we touch each other, because I mean, it's my birthday, and so you were telling stories about how you I touched you, but touching isn't one way. Nobody touches by themselves. I mean, that's weird. But it's mutual. So, everybody who's got something to say, and people who haven't had something to say, we've touched each other because it's mutual. There was something there, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the I appreciate the appreciation, that we appreciate. That's it just feels good. I mean, life's a bitch sometimes. And just having, Mary Lawler, you were just talking about your religious experience, and it's, yeah, I mean, there's so much to be upset about. I mean, the world just sucks in so many ways. It's just like, insane how crazy things are, and have been, and you know, and it isn't just our generation. You know, my Uncle Danny's here on the call, who's 90, and you know, I mean, there's been hardships and awfulness everywhere, every stage of the game, and one of the things that that I learned from my Opa, who was a survivor of a concentration camp, and he had not 1 ounce of anger against the Germans, which, you know, Dan and my cousin Danny, the 3 of us did a podcast a few weeks ago, and that was one of the things that we all have in common, is that heritage of, you know, shit happens, but I don't know, I just don't have that much room for hate. It's a drag, you know, and there's reason for it, but it's just not a place to live. So I feel like and I like to hang out with people who bring out the best in me and, you know, appreciate life and appreciate each other. And so I thank you. I mean, I thank you for being that. I mean, every one of you, I could go around and tell a story about every one of you, whether you've spoken or not, of how you've inspired me and made me feel like, you know, there's so much there, you know. Adriana, who else is on here? Jackie, Jackie's my sister. Anika, hi Anika. And so anyway, thank you all of you, and I'm open to hearing more if people have more stories to tell, and if we've had enough of each other, we can end. Josh, how you doing there, Josh?
Hey, Danny. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, hearing you talk about appreciation I haven't gotten to know you as well as many of these people have had the absolute pleasure and privilege to have, but I've gotten to know you a bit and have shared a couple of good stories and good experiences. And, you know, you talk about the appreciation among people I know who try to change things in sort of very big ways, try to, or just sort of naturally help and touch people they meet, like all the amazing stories I've heard and probably hundreds of others that aren't here. You seem to want the least appreciation or money or fame or whatever other extrinsic reward is. You just sort of seem to do good things for people because there's an opportunity to do it. And that's really, really special. And you seem to, you know, give advice, share wisdom, share your perspective, share your talents in nursing and other fields, because it might make a difference. It might help somebody. And if they, you know, I saw in the comments, if someone takes your advice, great. If they don't take it, no hard feelings. And I really admire that and find that inspirational about you. Just try to do a lot of wonderful things individually, and big, slow, painstaking, banging your head against the wall change that you make happen for all the right reasons. And it's really inspirational to watch and get to know you and get to learn from. So thank you for what you do, and happy birthday, man.
Thanks, Josh.
Excellent, thank you. Hey, we've got some hands up again, which is great. If anybody else has got anything to share, they just use the reaction, put your hand up, and then we can hear from you again. So Janice.
Yeah, it's my second round. Danny knows I'm good for that. I just want to say that audaciousness, you know, he's so audacious. I mean, I think that's a good term for him. I didn't give that as one of the terms I would have thought of first of all, but he has through his audaciousness, like what he applied for this year at PCORI, I was like, wow, you know, he can have very large goals, and but he's not afraid, you know, he's not afraid of failure, and he, like you said, life is a lesson. So I've kind of learned from him to be a little bit more audacious and, you know, go outside of my comfort zone. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Janice.
Excellent.
Cousins.
I've got iPhone. I haven't got a name. I'm sorry, but you're very welcome to share?
That's Karen and Lisa. You're on mute.
Still muted. You're muted.
We can't hear you. Slight technical hitch.
There we go. How about
Hey,
that?
well done.
There you go. Karen, hi.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I have a story about Danny. One of the first times I met him.
Oh my goodness. Here's gonna be the ugly. Okay.
No, this is a good story. Don't worry, Dan.
Okay.
So it's very appropriate that Danny happened to be celebrating his birthday on National Ice Cream Day.
Oh, right.
Today. And Lisa and I are going to go get some free ice cream after this. But when I first met Danny, they were living in, I think, Highland Park in Chicago, near Chicago. And he was working at 31 Flavors. That made him the coolest cousin ever. I mean, who wouldn't want a cousin that worked at 31 Flavors? So I thought that was the best. And I don't think you gave us free ice cream, but you gave us very good service. So we'll have to get our free ice cream today. And we are related to lots of different ice cream makers, apparently. So the Ben and Jerry's people, Unilever, and Van Leeuwen ice cream, they're very distant cousins. So it runs in our blood. So instead of blood, we have ice cream. The Van Leeuwens have ice cream running through their veins. Do you remember that when you worked at 31
I do.
And
Yes.
do you remember all of us coming there? My mom and
I do.
I think Oma might have been there too.
I do. It was very special. I didn't do this on that visit, but one of the things that I remember about working at that Baskin Robbins, because now I'll share an ugly, is that that there was this summer of infestation of fish flies. And
my God.
the walls, the windows would be of the ice cream store would be covered with these fish flies. It was disgusting. Well, there was this one kid who would come in every day and get ice cream and be such a bully to me and to everybody. He was such a jerk. Well, one day I scooped up a fish fly into his ice cream and put it on the cone. And it was like the baddest thing I had ever done in my life.
Pretty bad.
What is a fish fly?
It is, well, it's a very ugly looking, large, many wing. I think it was the year where this was on Lake Michigan and the alewives were like dying on the shore in thousands, and a byproduct of that were these fish flies. They were disgusting, ugly, and it was like locusts, everywhere. Anyway, so I scooped one up. Yeah.
Yum.
I feel, oh, there it is.
Oh, gross.
And they like, they're really loud. Not quite like cricket loud, but that kind of loudness, but a different kind of sound. Really gross. So anyway, I've confessed to like the worst thing I ever did.
That's still the worst thing? Come on.
I don't know. I mean, my kids probably would know worse, but I won't. put them on
I've
the
heard some
spot.
stories about what you and your sister did to babysitters.
Oh, well.
That runs in the
Maybe-
family.
Yeah, Jackie.
Jackie should share some of that.
Are you there, Jax?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my video on.
Okay.
No, I actually don't. I know that we did some nasty things to like other kids that were visiting, like kids, friends of our parents. Like we would blindfold them and make them put their hand and stuff and tell them it was diarrhea. And I don't know. Weird. I don't remember babysitters though, honestly. Sorry.
Anyway.
So we're just discovering a different side. to
Yeah,
Dan
you
than
know.
we ever come across before. There we go.
Oh, I can tell the story about Danny getting trust for the picture, my prom picture.
Do you have that picture?
I do. Let me go get it. It's very fun. I
Oh,
don't
it's a strange picture. So I'll do the background to it is that, Jackie's a year and a half older than me. So we celebrated yesterday her half birthday. And she was, chipped it. Okay. So that's me on the left. And that's Jackie and her prom date. And I wasn't invited. And I wasn't going, but I got all dressed up for the picture. So
Show it again, Jackie. So
Bring the picture back. Sorry.
I don't know why I got dressed up. I just wanted to be in the picture.
All right.
Is that you on the, which one, in the dark suit?
Yeah.
The shorter one.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. So, where are we? Casey, have we got? Is it Mighty Casey Media? I'm not sure. Is that your name, Casey?
Yeah, that's
or-
Casey Quinlan.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's
Casey.
yes, that's me.
All you.
No, I just wanted to weigh in and tell Danny that you may have made it to 70, but I'm right on your heels because for me it's we're inside I think 3 weeks now. Yeah, my birthday is August 6th, which as it happens a Saturday in a few weeks, and my mantra for the last year has been that if I make it to 70, which is August 6th this year, if I make it to 70, then that means that I get to beat Bowie and Rickman's records, because they died within 2 weeks of each other in January of 2016, both of cancer, different types. Both were 69. They didn't make it to 70. So it's looking good. We're not there yet. And, people with stage 4 cancer can't get all, kind of prideful about the fact, well, I'm here now, and an interesting PET scan report the other day. There will be further adventures. In the treatment zone, the outcome zone, always an open question, but stay tuned. We'll see what happens. But it's been my pleasure and privilege to know Danny for however long it's been. Both he and I have scratched our heads over trying to figure out when it was that we actually met. And it would definitely have been something around the healthcare thing. And it could have been a Society for Participatory Medicine thing. We both are members there. It could have been around Health Data Palooza, which was the Health Data Consortium's and now belongs to Academy Health. Could have been at a PCORI thing because I've been intersecting with them for a decade plus at this point. But it's been a real pleasure and privilege, as I said, because he is one of the most patient human beings ever. Although definitely a family member who said something about one of his go-to plays, if he's kind of done with the conversation, is to fall asleep. So I will figure that I must be at least somewhat entertaining, because he's never actually fallen asleep on me. So cool. And he kept me kind of on the land of the planet of the living last year during the period of time between the beginning of 21 and then almost bouncing off the flight deck in June of last year with a 5-day hospitalization that basically put me back in some kind of order. And now, I'm still here. We don't know how long, but I'm still here. So let's keep an eye out. I will be probably making noise on Twitter and various other places at Mighty Casey if I do make it to August 6th in a few weeks. And if any of you all are going to DEF CON, I'll see you there, because I'm headed to DEF CON in Vegas 3 days later. A big
Cool.
global hacker conference. That's part of the crew I'm in. So, yeah, yeah, I can see other people saying that they're glad he hasn't fallen asleep on them. So I think that that's a good rubric for like, okay, if you know, if your story is compelling, Danny didn't fall asleep on you, so that worked. So you can take that story elsewhere now. So that's it. That's all I got.
Oh, that's pretty funny. It's
Thank you,
all
Casey.
true.
Excellent. Thank you. So who have you got? Ruben?
And somebody said QR code tattoo. I forget it's there. I've had it so long. I will throw what that is in the chat, a link to why. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, for Adriana, that's right.
Yeah. So,
Um,
Ruben?
Yeah, I had actually with Casey kind of describing my father's patient, which he can be and he cannot be at the same time, all in a flash. He can be generous and stingy in a matter of moments. But I appreciate, I did ask people, and I'm sorry, I don't know most of you, and I did get a great help from Steve and my mom to reach out to many of you to ask for adjectives of my father. And I asked for 3. Some people could do 3. Some people did need to do a couple more because it is hard to describe somebody in 3 adjectives. And I put it into word cloud. It is a draft, just because I'm still hoping maybe some people will send some more in. But if you'll indulge me, I'll put it in, I'll share it so you can see it for now. And I will pass it on to you at another time, Dad. But we did get, over 50 people who replied, and let me get it ready. So here's your word cloud of people describing you, Dad.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see it that well.
I can, yes.
Yeah. A lot of caring and generous, curious, courageous. We had other ones. We had some outtakes which were fun too. Grumpy was an outtake. But we have insightful, enthusiastic, positive, and I think going along with a lot of things that we're hearing stories of. I enjoyed your sister Jessica. Huggable was one of hers.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple of jazzies. So I'll print that out and I will pass it on to you as a
Thank
gift
you.
from many, many people who love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Anika, you have at least 2 stories, I'm sure.
All right, it's time for embarrassing Danny time. I am Danny's daughter from another mother, because we've known each other, I guess, all my life, or nearly all my memories, so 40 some years. And so I grew up on the farm in West Virginia, and was homeschooled with Danny's sons. And so we had a lot of time where I was running around the house or they were running around with me. And one of those times, Danny tried to poison me with shrimp because I insisted I was allergic and he insisted I was not. And Anne spent the whole night up with me. Sick. It was not anaphylactic, thankfully, but I did reject those shrimp. And Danny said he would never force me to eat shrimp again. And then there was another time that we were all making like doll houses out of cardboard boxes. And I don't know how old we were, but a box cutter was involved. And I just sliced my leg right up with that box cutter. Blood is spurting out. Danny, who was of course a nurse, we rushed me to the hospital because he's worried that I've cut an artery, only to think later like, oh, right, there aren't any arteries anywhere near that spot. But, he loved me and I had blood spurting out of my leg. So the hospital we went to, of course, was the one where he worked. And so all of his fellow employees got a good laugh out of Danny's mistake about the location of the cut. And I thought maybe Ruben was going to share the time that Danny tried to kill him with a pile of wood. I think Ruben got buried in a pile of wood, and I'm not even sure I know the full story, but he was little, a little kid. So lots of ways that Danny tried to kill us all when we were younger. But one of the big things that, now when I'm hanging out with you, Danny, we just were together in West Virginia. What I notice is how much you are living your life. You've got plans, you've got people you want to see, you've got conversations you want to have. You show up with questions for me. I want to talk to you about this. It's like the kind of conversations that you don't have. It's like the opposite of small talk, It's like we're here for a meaning, we're here for purpose, we're here. You came to West Virginia and you went up and played music with a neighbor, and you have these things like that you want to do, and I'm inspired to live my life more like that. Like we all think we have a lot of time. You have some estimate. I think you said 10 years. You used to think that you wouldn't have the 70 that you had, and really none of us knows, right? How many years, how many days, how many hours. So I admire the way that you live the time that you have with intention and purpose and depth in your conversations and relationships. So I aspire to be more like you. Happy birthday.
Honey, I love you.
Yeah.
So I want to introduce everybody to my dear Uncle Danny. And and Beth, there's Beth. Hi, Beth, my Aunt Beth. They're in upstate New York in Utica. And have inspired me over the years. Good parents. My Uncle Danny has been, oh my goodness. What do you have, 9 kids? I can't hear you. You're on mute. He's looking.
Tell him to call Dave.
Look on the lower left.
He's got an iPad, so he can't see the thing.
There
so
it is. Good. Hi. I still can't hear you.
Oh.
I could tell the woodpile story while we wait if we need to.
Oh. Yes.
Well, we were in West Virginia and Leon was still crawling, so he's probably not quite 2. We had a woodshed. Ruben, sorry. Yeah, the other one. When Ruben was still crawling, he was 2. We had a woodshed that was close to the house. And a woodshed that we later turned into a attached apartment for my grandmother who came to live with us, great grandmother. But Dad was attaching an X, a block X that he could put logs in to cut them. And he was attaching it to the wall of the woodshed, but he had nailed the wall of the woodshed outside of the beams. So the only thing that was holding the wall to the woodshed were the nails that he was moving to attach the X. So he pulled them out in the wall, and all of the wood that was behind it, all of the bucked wood came down and rolled over my brother who was crawling past him at the time. But thankfully, there was a log block on the ground, and the wall itself was propped on the block, and so all the wood rolled over him. But I ran into the house convinced that he had just killed my brother and got Mom, and he was fine.
Oh, golly.
Like I said, he was not afraid to do things he knew nothing about.
I think we need some commentary from Anne on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was actually on the phone looking out the window when that happened. That was pretty frightening. And yeah, talking about the hand of God being there to protect Ruben. It's amazing.
It was a test to make sure Ruben was tough enough to survive.
Me
Yeah.
too. Oh, God.
Also, we're talking about Dad when he was done with conversations, walking away or saying, okay, I'll see you later. We used to go to parties, and I don't remember if he would ask the host like where the bedrooms were, but he would just go take naps. And this was before the diagnosis. It probably should have been an indicator that we would go to parties and he would just go and take naps at people's houses.
Yep, that was pre-diagnosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have
Yeah,
been an
you know when
indicator.
you're tired, you're tired.
Although I think if we get Uncle Danny back in, Uncle Danny, that's a habit of yours also. So I think Danny learned it from you.
He was off mute for a moment. Now he's on
Now,
mute again.
there.
Now you're back. Can
Now
you?
the mute.
Now
no.
he's muted again.
Yeah, and I don't think his mic is engaged at all.
Something going on with his mic because he's off of mute, but we still can't hear
But
him.
we still can't hear him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need David there.
There you go.
All righty.
While we're waiting for that, Ilian, you said that you had some pictures to share. Is that safe?
I do.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, it's safe.
Okay, can you guys see?
Yeah. Oh. Oh my goodness. What is that?
That's at Hims. We were at the table. We were manning a table.
It's some hat, Harry.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
the SPM hat, the SPM, I think. Oh no, the connected patient. We were in a, and here's both of us.
Oh yeah. That's where I met you and Jan.
Yeah, maybe in person, but I think. we
Yeah,
knew
Jan
each other.
Oldenburg, right?
And yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there she is.
Oh yeah, I was there, but I don't think that was our first meeting actually.
Yeah, I don't think so either. We met in Chicago.
And here's
Oh,
a
and there's
of ours.
Regina.
Regina.
And I wanted to show you more, friends. Just a second. Here we go. No, this one. No, there.
Marianne
So
Sterling.
Not a great picture, but we have Marianne and Regina and Danny.
And definitely Hims.
And
Yeah.
is that who's that on the left? Is that Jerry?
I don't know.
No, that's not. You mean Jerry Lynn?
Not Jerry.
No.
No.
I think
It's
that's
Marianne Sterling in the back.
In the
Yeah,
back. Yeah.
definitely that.
Yeah, it looks like Jerry.
So good times.
Yes.
Great pictures. Thanks for sharing those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always remember Danny when I get to see these pictures. Thank you. How do I? Okay.
70.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Do you have any of your clown pictures, Danny? When you presented on a clown, you should share that. Probably most people know about it, but
I don't. Yeah, so I did a series when I worked at Boston Children's. One of the things that impressed me the most were the clowns, and there was a whole troupe of clowns that every day they would go to the kids, the rooms with the families and the kids, and they taught a course, an all-day course called Reading the Room. And it was, fine-tuning the ability to walk into a room and assess what's going on in, 10 seconds. I'm sure, Jason, that's something that you do in your work, in your hospice work, is, how do you read the room? Like, what's going on? And reading it quickly. And when I was asked to do a presentation at the a caregiving conference, I decided to do a session on what we can learn as caregivers from the clowns, and part of it was bringing the I brought noses and stuff, but we did a couple of exercises about reading the room. And there's Russ Bennett. He can't hear us yet. Hi, Russ.
Hi there. Sorry to join so late.
Oh, that's okay. We've been telling stories.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I recorded it. So we'll, anybody wants to hear it later, can hear the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Lovely.
But anyway, the doing that session on the clowns was great. But the guy who was the supervisor who taught the class was maybe my third interview or fourth. Oh, anyway, within the first 5. But one of his themes in his talk was that as a clown you have to embrace failure, because you can learn about reading the room, but you will get it wrong as often as you get it right. And it's okay, you just have to accept that you got it wrong and pivot. And so we got done with the interview, and I realized that I hadn't pressed record. And so it was great. I could call him back and say, well, I really took that lesson to heart.
And I've been there. OMG.
And
the ones I get paid to do.
So we went and we redid it, and it was actually better the second time than the first. He was such a good sport. But anyway, yeah, the clowns. No, I don't have pictures. Not handy anyway. So Russ, we've been sharing some stories about just about anything, and so you're on the spot.
Well, I certainly remember the time that you invited me on your podcast to talk about promotoras and promotores, and how we went through the whole explanation of who's what, and how community health workers can be so important within health today, especially as we try to, create health literacy. And it was just amazing. I feel like I know you so well for so long, and yet you and I have never been in the same state at the same time, other than via Zoom. So, I applaud the work you're doing. I love the fact and appreciate that you invited me to apply to PCORI for the patient engagement advisory panel. And, they must have made a mistake because they selected me. And I just, really feel so close to the work that you're doing. And one day we will be in the same room at the same time and be able to shake hands, maybe in October in Washington, D.C.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Yes, and I appreciate meeting you and getting to know you, because you're one of my go-to. I find myself that I don't really know what I'm talking about, and I think I'm onto something, but I better check it out. And you're one of my short list of people to call and get a reality check and a little more depth of knowledge, so I don't continue to go off half-cocked.
Well, I'm happy to be a resource for you with whatever I know, and above all, happy birthday. It's a milestone, and I wish you many more.
Thank you so much. Sue, can I pick on you? Sue, we've known each other. We're neighbors. We live like 3 blocks away, and we met through Ann. You and Ann worked together. So you want to just introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. I'm Sue Donnelly. Happy birthday, Dan. It's a pleasure to be here and celebrate with you. I could share stories of Dan. I shared a couple poems in the chat of poems that inspired me. I thought they highlighted what I would say was Danny's superpower of recognizing the power of an individual's perspective. and also being willing to love and to encourage through his generous spirit others to try love. Like, let's give this a try. Let's give it, like I heard others say, let's give it a try, and kind of imagine what that person, may be going through, or what scars or challenges, are they bringing to the table. So that's just a little bit about what I appreciate about Dan.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just want to say the only thing it's missing, I haven't heard anything about your music. Nobody said anything yet.
Well, we did meet the horn earlier, but then we kind of pivoted and didn't go back.
Right. Well,
probably before.
I think you should play us off.
Oh man. I mean, I could.
Nothing like a little pressure.
Give us a tune. I missed the beginning, but doesn't your grandson or somebody else also, or Joey?
Well, my cousin Joey is a musician. Yeah. There's many musicians here. Oscar's a musician. Leon's a musician. Sarah, you play the bass, right?
Yes, but mostly the guitar.
Oh, okay. And so I don't think I'm ready to play right now, to tell you the truth. But thank you. Yeah, music has gotten to be a big part of my life. Yeah, I play every day. Pretty much every day. I average playing about an hour a day. I play in a Latin band. We had, over the last 3-4 months, we've had like 6 gigs. It's crazy. And we rehearse as often as we can. And I've never played Latin music before in my life. And but I've always wanted to be part of a horn section. And we have somewhere between 7 and 11 players in our band. And, whoever can make it gets together. And they've just accepted me. Really, they recruited me because they wanted a Barry player. I just been having a great time with it. So, another time.
As long as you don't leave it another 70 years.
All right. No. Well, I'll be off.
Yes, I think we need to write that into the
75,
contract.
Danny, I'm thinking 75.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe we should all sing happy birthday.
Well, there's an idea.
I don't know.
That's a
everybody
great idea.
sang. Okay.
Everybody on mute, kiddos. We're
You can
about
get
to
us
do
in
it.
tune, Danny, at least.
What's that?
You can give us a tune
I
to
don't-
sing happy birthday. You can't do it.
No. I mean, I think we're just gonna go for it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody off mute.
Okay.
Come on, 3,
2,
2, 1.
1.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Danny. Happy birthday.
And many more.
Dogs are barking across Arlington,
Oh
Massachusetts.
man, the lag, and one of the things that
Yeah, gotta love the internet.
yeah, one of the things the internet doesn't do that well. During COVID, I did use, what was it, Jazz Kazam, an app that
Right.
I tried to play music with people, and it worked pretty good. The lag was
How'd you tell us?
microscopic, not like what we just. So when you hear the recording of this, it's pretty,
Yeah.
pretty amazing how.
Awful.
Yeah.
It was much better than I expected, actually.
Yeah.
Well,
Danny,
it
I
all
wanted
came
you
with
to
a
know
lot of
that
love.
Pretty bad.
My mom sang for you too. Here's
Yeah.
here's my.
Oh,
my
hey, how you doing?
My 99-and-a-half-year-old mom sang for you as well.
Thank you. Oh, how lovely is that?
Say happy birthday again.
Did I just hear my dad? I think we can hear you now, Dad.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Say something.
Okay, that's good. Well, I don't have a lot to say. No. I wish I was in Boston. I love to visit Danny and Jackie. And I wish I was there to celebrate the birthday. I do remember a trip we made to West Virginia where the kids, Jackie's kids and Danny's kids put on a musical. And on the way home, Ben was with us and he drove, and Jackie was in the car with us, and we ran out of gas, and some people from the Indian tribe stopped and got us gas. So that's I'm dealing with long COVID, so it also affects my memory as well as a dozen other things. I'm 90 years old. There are things that Danny and I share. We're talking about falling asleep in the middle of something. Yeah, my dad did that. I did that. It's really a family tradition. But I think the tradition that most identifies the Van Leeuwens is that we are caring, and we want to change things, and we want to make things better. And Danny's done a lot that way. I haven't done much. I've done a little. I think I have made the world a little better than it would have been without me. I wish you a happy birthday. And well, I'd like to see you on your 90th, but I don't think I'll be there. I might be there, but I won't be there. Anyway.
Thanks, Dan. I love you. I love you, Beth. Good to see you.
I love you too. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, now I can mute.
Well, I'm delighted that we got that together. That's really good.
Well, we're at the top of the hour, and I'll do what I do, which is this has been really wonderful. It was all I could have wanted and more. Good for my heart and good for my soul. And thank you all so much, especially Steve and Simon, who helped coordinate all of this. I really appreciate it. We'll see you around the block.
Bye, Danny. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Hugs
Thank
from
you,
here,
Danny.
Danny. Bye-bye.
Now, Danny.
Happy birthday, Danny. We love you.
Love you too.